आपादमौलिपर्यन्तां गुरूणामाकृतिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नप्रणश्यन्ति सिद्धन्ति च मनोरथः लक्ष्मीं तनोतु नितरां इतरानपेक्षमङ्गृत्वयं निगमशाकिशिखाप्रवालं हैरम्बमम्बुरुहडम्बरचौर्यनिग्रहं विघ्नार्थिभेदशतधारधुरन्धरन्नः सर्वेषां स्वागतम्. Yesterday we made a start with learning the Varna Vichara, and we started learning the Lipi, and the Lipi is called as Devanagari. In that we saw the two Vargas, the two bifurcations or classifications of the alphabets of Devanagari. First one was Swaras, which are independent in pronunciation. So therefore, they are given a separate standard. What are they? We learnt a, a, I, e, u, u, r, r, r. R is a special vowel. That special vowel is Vaidika. So we will find its usage only in the Vedas. Then we have A. We have only A. That's all. So A is, there are two bifurcation of the swaras as well. Long vowels and short vowels. So we have Haswa and Dirgha. So A is Haswa, A is Dirgha. I is Haswa, E is Dirgha. U is Haswa, U is Dirgha. R is Haswa, R is Dirgha. R is always Haswa. A, we have only one A, that is Dirgha. I, O, O is also again Dirgha. Au. So these are the swaras. And now we move on to, we had also started with Vyanjanas. Vyanjanas are those which need Swarasayoga to be pronounced. So there we talked about two kinds of swaras, two kinds of Vyanjanas, Vargiya and Avargiya. Vargiya Vyanjanas are basically organized into, they are in order, we can say that. Avargiya Vyanjanas are not in order. What is this order? There are 5 letters in each, 5 alphabets in each Varga. Therefore, they are Vargiya. So, what are those Vargas? They are Kavarga, Chavarga, Tavarga, Tavarga, Pavarga. And we started seeing Kavarga. As said, each of the Vyanjanas need Swarasa Yoga to be expressed, which means as many Swaras are there, so many forms of Vyanjanas we are going to get. So, A is there. So, if we add A to K, we'll get Ka. We'll get A. If we add A, then we'll get Ka. In the same way, if we add I, it becomes Ki. If we add E, it becomes Ki. So we looked at how to write these expressions, how to write the Vyanjana forms of all these things. So without Swarasa Yoga, these Vyanjanas are expressed with this dash in the end. So first Ka is written in Devanagari like this. But this is without Swara. So now I add Akara to it. The first Akara, that is Hraswa. Then I get, if I add this, then I get my Ka. Complete. In the same way, if I add A, A, How do I represent this? I make a normal ka, that is ka with a, but I give it one more line after it. Ka. In the same way, the symbolism for E, that is Haswa E, is on the right end. We take this. We take a connection from the top. In the same way, for E, that is Dirgha. Sorry, not. Uh, uh, for Dirgha E, we take from the top, we put a line to the left of the akshara. So we get ki. Then for u, hraswa, we turn, we give it a pada, we turn this particular ending towards the right. This is ku. The same when we do this to the left, it is ku. And then for kr, ka remains as it is. We give one C at the end. If it is dirgha, sorry, if it is dirgha, then we take the same ka and then we give two C's in the end. For A, we give it a feather in the top. The letters will remain as they are. They just change a little with respect to the symbolism of the swara that I am giving. So already mentioned that for A, we don't have a feather over here, but the representation when we are adding it to a Vyanjana, it gets a feather. For I, it gets two feather. Kai. For O, there is one stick and a feather. And for cow, there is one stick and two feather. So this is how, this is also called as Barakadi. It is also mentioned as um, Gunitakshara in different languages. They're called as different, but we have Kaka, Kiki, Kuku, Ku. So we have practice of that as well. In every Indian language, most of these varnas exist. So it is easier to learn this. So we know Ka, Ki, Ku, Kr, Kr, K, Kai, Ko, Kau. This is Ka. In Kavarga, the five letters that we have is Ka. This is Alpa Prana. Then Kha. This is Mahaprana. Because it takes effort to pronounce this. So these two are called as hard consonants, or they are called as Karkasha Vyanjanas. Then we have Ga. This is again Alpa Prana. Then we have Gha, which is Mahaprana. And then we have Nya. This is called as Anuswara. Yesterday we completed till Gha, and this is called as Anuswara. So Kha we have seen, the second, that is the Mahaprana Kha. For that also we have Kha, Kha, Ki, Ki, see, Ki, Ki, if we put it to the left side. Then K, Khedaha, Khela. Then we have Gakara, that is Gaganam, Ganeshah. Ga, Akara, Gayakah, Gayatri. Gi, Girihi. Gi, Gita. Gu, Guruhu. Gu, Gudha. Gr, Griham. Ge, Geyam. Go, Gocharaha. Gau, Gauhu, Gauhi, Gauri. Then we have Mahaprana Gha, Ghataha, Ghanaha, Ghatakaha, Ghi, Ghee, Ghr, Ghritam, Ghu, Raghuhu. See, at some point of time, what happens? We don't have enough padas starting with the certain letters. So we have to substitute any pada where the varna is used. Raghu, Gho, Ghoraha, Ghoshaha. So this total set forms Kavarga, which is represented by Ku. Therefore, we have a sutra called as Akuha Visarjaniyam Kanthaha, which is giving the sthana for pronunciation of Kavarga. So, which is Kantha. The last letter is Nya. This is Anuswara. These are nasal. These are the last, that is the fifth letter of each varga. So we have Kavarga. In that, the last, that is the fifth letter is Nya. There has to be effort on at the Kantha. Nya. So, K, Kh, G, Gh, Nya. This too is a Vyanjana and therefore needs Swara Sayoga. So if I add Akara to it, it becomes Nya. If I add Ikara to it, it becomes Nya. Ni, ni, ni. More predominantly, ni, it comes out Ikara. Nye, nye. When we say this particular Varna, the tongue must cover the Kantha, that portion. If it has to be, sorry, it has to be separated. There should be no hindrance. It should be straight out. So when I say it, nya, the word actually doesn't manifest completely. So nya, nye, ni. So of course, when we say it, we take a little more lenience and say most of the anuswaras in a similar fashion because it is very difficult to differentiate, manifest it actually. So, nye, a, nye, we can extend that because a is again dirgha. Then, how do we write this? A kara is through this feather. So, I write this normally, the Vyanjana part, but for the Swarasa Yoga, the symbol is all same. This is Okara. So it is no, no. The next Varga is Chavarga. Cha, Cha, Ja, Jha, Nya. Cha, 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 Cha. Then we have Ja. Then we have Jha. And then Nya. So these are without swara yoga. When I add the swara to it, it manifests completely. So it is cha. Obviously, when I add a to it, it becomes cha. Then chi. Chi. Then chu. Ukar. Chu. I'm stressing more on the symbols because these remain the same. The Vyanjana remains the same, but we have to understand subtle differences. Che. Shai. Cho. Chow. Then Mahaprana Cha. So this is the second of the Chavarga, second letter of Chavarga. And again, writing this is, we write the Ulta 3 and then we curve it up. We take a line, we give it one line and then put a cap on it. And then for Alpa Prana, it is very simple. It is like a person standing, holding something. His hand stretched out. You know how the waiters or they stand with trays, no? Like that. Ch, ch. Then we have the next varna, that is ja, which is our hand stretched out like this. Ja. It is like a sickle. Sickle to cut the crops. They have one tool, no, like that. It is a sickle. For that, we are giving it a support. Ja. And for that, we have all the expressions of swara. So this is A, J, Jai, I, and then Jo, Jr, Ju, Ju, Ji, Ji, Ja. The next is Mahaprana Jha. For this, it is similar to E. How we learned to write E, it is similar to E, but we are holding hands with the E and then we are giving a stick to it. So this is Mahaprana Jha. With that, if I add A, it becomes Jha. And accordingly, every expression of swara gets added to it. Ja, Jha. Ji, Jhi. So if I add this, it becomes Jhi. Unlike this, it becomes Jhi. Since there are no words starting with those have been ignored. Then not much usage of it to start the letter. That's all. Then the last again anuswara for this varga is nya. Nya. This particular varga gets its pronunciation from talu. Ichu yashanam talu. So what The sthanas are, we will see it after we go through the varnas. It would be easier. But this varga has its separate sthana, one pronunciation. So nya, nya. It has a more stronger nasal sound. Then the next varga is called as tavarga. Again, this chavarga is represented by the first akshara and giving it a ukara. This is saying chavarga. In usage, in sutra usage, this is used. So in sutras, wherever in Panini sutras, where kakara kavarga has to be indicated, it's given as ku. Where chavarga needs to be indicated, is it is chu. In the same way, where tavarga needs to be indicated, it is through tu. So what are the varnas of tavarga? Tavargas, it is ta, alpa prana, tha, mahaprana, da, which is very similar. That is the reason I said when we were going through Kavarga, the yeah, last fifth varna, it is very similar, but in writing in lipi, but they're totally different. This is da, that is yeah, dha, the mahaprana dha, ta, tha, da, tha, and na. This is the anuswara of this varga. So how do we write this? This is pretty simple. The whole varga, there is a hook. That's all. If I complete the hook, this hook will be Mahaprana. This. Then if I make it a yes symbol, nothing else. This is da. If I curve that hook, make a hole like this, then it becomes Mahaprana dha. Then if I could put a U shape and one line beside it, it becomes na. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. So pretty simple. Obviously, the expressions, when I add swaras to it, then what happens? All these are, if I have to show it as without swara yoga, I have to put a line over here. When I add this particular uh, swaras to it, then what happens? It becomes ta. This is with haswa a. Haswa e, it is t. Tippani. If I want to make it dirgha, e, it comes on the left side. Tika. Tika. Ka also has a dirgha. Then ukara, it is tu. Te. To. This is mahaprana tha. Pitham. Pathaha. So when we do this tha, we can actually hear the forceful expulsion forcing us to bring about a heartbeat. Vithala. So it is said that scientifically this tha has the power to remove blockage from the heart. So therefore, chanting of Vithala, there was a small scientific survey conducted or some this thing conducted where the institute was able to understand the heart is able to it gets forced into beating a little when we say tha. So therefore, whenever there is a heart blockage, this pronouncing this particular varna, it is able to clear that off. So this is th. It was done with the word. The research was conducted with the word called as Vithala. So whenever we chant Vithala, 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 that actually helps us clear out the blockages. It seems. So this is Mahaprana th. Again, when I add a to it, ta, tha, it becomes thi, thi, tu, and then thr, he, tho. The next letter is da. See, da is pretty simple. Just put a S. Da. And the same thing happens. Da, akara. Rasva e, D. Dirgha, D. Then we have Mahapranadha. Dha. If I add E to it, Haswa D. 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 This is Haswa E with Mahapranadha. So, Rudhihi. Last Varna of this Varga is Na. Na. A U, one line, and then one cap. This is also expressed as Na, Ni. Sorry, this is Ni. This is Haswa. Nu. What is the difference between a Haswa and Dirgha is Matra Kalas. We will go through that in the end. That is the time required for pronunciation. That's all. So the concept will be taught. Then the next Varga is Tavarga. Again, this is represented through the first letter and then Ukara in this Panini Sutras. Tu. So tu means the, the, na. The, th, the, the, na. Now the difference is the pretty simple, the also pretty simple. This the is very similar to Kavargas gha, Mahaprana again. The difference is that cap does not cover this three. There, when we write k, k, g is like this. It covers this cap, covers the complete thing. Here, it doesn't cover this three. That is the difference. And we have na. The na. Again, with Swarasa Yoga, they get expressed with the, ta, ti, tu, tr, tr, te, tai, to, tau. This is u. So tu, then tr, trish, tritiya, tr, not much of usage. Te, tai, to, tau. Same for Mahaprana tha, tha, thi, thi, thu, thu, the, thai, tho, thau. This is the similar to what we have seen in Mahaprana Dha. The difference is the line extends. Dhakara is this much. The hook gets rolled up inside. But the that this is Alpa Prana, this gets extended. The da the the do do dr. Here the roll up is missed out for the sake of, because it is difficult if I do the and then this. It looks like the getting a rakara. So therefore we eliminate this when we are doing rakara for the. So we do this for dr, dr. Just a small three, ulta three. Then they, do, thou. Then dha. This is Mahaprana. Similar to gha, but we don't cover. The cap is only towards that line, pole, whatever we want to say, that stick that we have given in the given beside it. So only to that we are going to cover. That's all. The ikara, nothing changes much. Just knowing how to write it, how to recognize it, that is the most important thing. Then ukara, ukara. Then dh, dh, dhe, dhai, dho, dhau. Then na also has the same na, just one line and one hand. That's all. This hand is curved. Na, ni, ni, no, no, nr, dr, ni, nai, no, now, and we are done with Tavarga. We will do the Pavarga in the upcoming class. So these are pretty simple aksharas and it can be learnt easily, just a matter of practice. So since we have a weekend tomorrow and day after, I would request you to take the uh, printout of this workbook and then practice it. So that would be very helpful. And then the next part of it will become easier. That is, we have the Pavarga and then Avargiya Vyanjana. Once that is done, the general Varna Vichara is done. We will look at the pronunciation, the sthanas, later on. Astu. We will conclude the class. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः प्रतिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। धन्यवादः सर्वेभ्यः।